Hare Krishna Balaram Prabhu. Hare Krishna Balaram Prabhu. Okay. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Om Vishnupadaya Kalpatarvicekripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So devotees, we continue to discuss the different some pain here, different position of Srila Prabhupada authoritatively from the scriptures. And so we have covered Srila Prabhupada being a Nitya Siddha, we have covered Srila Prabhupada being a Saktyaevsa avatar and a bona fide spiritual master. Now we have been discussing, or just started discussing last week about Srila Prabhupada's coming, predictions, authoritative predictions about coming. So let me share this. Authorized predictions for Srila Prabhupada seem to be the first are all those statements in the scriptures which talk about that Lord Krishna incarnates to deliver the devotees and annihilate demons, based on Lord Chaitanya's desire to preach all over the world. Prithivite, Nagaradi Gram, and that by inference Srila Prabhupada is fulfilling them. That is the main statement, category of statement that we find. Second is the task given by Lord Caitanya to him. It's kind of similar, but it's a little different. Third is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prediction that he is going to come. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's indication, and Srila Prabhupada's horoscope. I don't know if there are any more, and devotees can contribute. So this incarnation, this Lord Caitanya incarnates. This is the Paritrana Sadhunam and its purport. Wanted to see if we can read that. Somebody wants to read it?
Yeah. This one, shall I?
Yeah.
Paritranaaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Synonyms: Paritranaaya, for the deliverance, sadhunam, of the devotees, vinashaya, for the annihilation, cha, also, dushkratam, of the miscreants, dharma, principles of religion, samasthapanaya arthaya, to re-establish, sambhavami, I do appear, yuge, millennium, yuge, after millennium. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. In order to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principle of religion, I advent myself millennium after millennium. Purport: According to Bhagavad Gita, a sadhu, holy man, is a man in Krishna consciousness. A person may appear to be irreligious, but if he has the qualifications of Krishna consciousness wholly and fully, he is to be understood to be a sadhu. And Dushkatam applies to one who doesn't care for Krishna consciousness. Such miscreants or Dushkratam are described as foolish and the lowest of mankind, even though they may be decorated with mundane education, whereas another person who is 100% engaged in Krishna consciousness is accepted as sadhu, even though such a person may neither be learned nor well cultured. As far as the atheist, atheistic are as far as the atheistic are concerned, it is not necessary for the Supreme Lord to appear as he is to destroy them, as he did with the demon Ravan and Kamsa. The Lord has many agents who are quite competent to vanish demons, but the Lord especially descends to appease his unalloyed devotees who are always harassed by the demonic.
Yes,
The
Prabhu?
demon,
Yeah.
yeah,
And what
the
so what to do is you know where the breaker is? Where the breakers are? In the garage, you know, there is a oil tank. There's a room inside which the breakers are there. So, you know,
they are nearby. You are unmute.
yeah. And just see the breaker there. Some will be in off position. Just put everything in on.
They are nearby. You are unmute.
Can continue reading?
No, bro. Okay, you are unmute. Therefore, I will stop.
No. Go on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. तो पहले का पढ़ना वो थोड़ा सा. Okay. The Lord has many agents who are quite competent to vanish demons, but the Lord especially descends to appease his unalloyed devotees who are always harassed by the demonic. The demon harasses the devotee, even though the latter may happen to be his kin. Although Prahlad Maharaj was the son of Hiranyakashipu, he was nonetheless persecuted by his father. Although Devaki, the mother of Krishna, was the sister of Kamsa, she and her husband Vasudev were persecuted only because Krishna only because Krishna was to be born of them. So Lord Krishna appeared primarily to deliver Devaki rather than kill Kamsa, but both were performed simultaneously. Therefore, it is said here that to deliver the devotees and vanish the demon miscreants, the Lord appears in different incarnations. In Chaitanya Charitamrita of Krishnadas Kaviraj, the following verse summarizes these principles of incarnation. श्रुति हेतु यही मूर्ति प्रपंचे अवतारे सही ईश्वर मूर्ति अवतार नाम धरे मायातीत पर व्योमे सवार अवस्थाना
Show me on the video. Show me on the video.
विश्वे अवतारी धरे अवतार नाम. The avatar or incarnation of Godhead descends from the kingdom of God for material manifestation, and the particular form of personality of Godhead who so descends is called an incarnation or avatar. Such incarnations are situated in the spiritual world, the kingdom of God. When they descend to material creation, they assume the name avatar. There are various kinds of avatars such as Purusha avatars, Gun avatars, Leela avatars, Saktyaevsa avatars, Manvatar avatars, and Yoga avatars. all appearing on schedule all over the universe. But
What
Lord
was the
Krishna
main
is
switch?
the
Main breaker? Main switch?
Lord Krishna is the primeval Lord, the fountainhead of all avatars. Lord Shri Krishna descends for the
See,
specific purposes
where
of
does it say
mitigating
off? Where does it say on?
Here, this is on, this is off.
What about the other side?
Off.
Yeah, this side.
This is off.
So all in the, so do it again, off and on.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Yes, Balram Prabhu. क्या Prabhu? थोड़ा सा नीचे करना वापस.
Already on.
I have to read. थोड़ा सा नीचे करना पहले का रहा है थोड़ा. Yeah, but Lord Krishna is the primeval Lord, the fountainhead of all avatars. Lord Lord Shri Krishna descends for the specific purposes of mitigating the anxieties of the pure devotees who are very anxious to see him in his original Vrindavan pastimes. Therefore, the prime purpose of Krishna avatar is to satisfy his unalloyed devotees. The Lord says that he incarnates himself in every millennium. This indicates that he incarnates also in the age of Kali. As stated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the incarnation in the age of Kali is Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who spread the worship of Krishna by Sankritan movement, congregational chanting of the holy names, and spread Krishna consciousness throughout India. Lord Chaitanya. He predicted that this culture of Sankirtan would be broadcast all over the world from town to town and village to village. Srila Rupa Goswami Avesa Rupa. Lord Chaitanya as the incarnation of Krishna, the personality of Godhead, is described secretly but not directly in the confidential parts of the revealed scriptures such as Upanishad, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, etc. The devotees of Lord Krishna are much attracted by Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya. This avatar of Lord does not kill the miscreants but deliver them by causeless mercy of the Lord.
Can we go back there? That as Srila Prabhupada Avesa Rupa, that's
Yeah,
us
yeah.
putting this in, right? It's not original.
No, no. I put it in
How come?
for discussion.
If
That's
it doesn't refer to devotee. All of this is referring to Krishna form.
where it says Saktyaevsa avatars also, no? Only about avatars it is talking about. No? The incarnation in the age of Kali's Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who spread the Krishna worship of the Sankirtan movement and spread Krishna conscious throughout India. That's Lord Chaitanya. Then he predicted, Lord Chaitanya predicted that this culture of Sankirtan would be broadcast all over the world, from town to town and village to village. To do that, he took another form, the Saktyaevsa avatar form. No? And that, see, all over the world part, no? That part we cover in other places. So many places this has been described all over the world. That part of Lord Chaitanya mission, he took another incarnation in his Srila Prabhupada's body, the Bhakti Shakti, like we have been discussing. This is the one. Okay. Remember we were talking about this CC Madhya 25.9, where Srila Prabhupada talks about in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he in his Anubhashya commentary, he quotes this verse. And then he says, Srila Prabhupada says that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur then comments, without being empowered by the direct potency of Lord Krishna to fulfill his desire, And without being specifically favored by the Lord, no human being can become the spiritual master of the whole world. Certainly cannot succeed by mental concoction, which is not meant for devotees or religious people. Only an empowered personality can receive holy name and join all fallen souls to worship Krishna by his holy name. Cleanse the heart more. He broadcasts the shining brightness of Krishna throughout the world. To be considered the incarnation of Lord Krishna's potency. You know, this verse 741 is this Kalir Kale Dosha Krishna Nam Sankirtan Krishna Shakti Bina Nahe Tara Pravartan. In this age of Kali, real religious propaganda should induce people to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is possible for someone who is especially empowered by Krishna. This verse. There are more. So I'm just putting down the category. That's how I came up with this understanding. Let's discuss this.
Prabhu, just like in India also, na, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Haridas Thakur and Nityanand Prabhu to Radha Desh, that Bangladesh, which was also the part of India. So in that also, like, it was not like only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He employed other devotees also to preach at that time. He sent Rup Goswami. He sent Sanatan Goswami and Goswamis to Vrindavan and like this.
This one. He preached in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to preach the Sankritan movement of love of Krishna throughout the entire world. And therefore, during his presence, he inspired the Sankirtan movements. So he's the inaugurator of the Sankirtan movement. And then to propagate it, he sent Sri Rupa Goswami and Goswami to Vrindavan, Nityananda Prabhu to Bengal. He personally went to South India. And then to the rest of the world, to International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So, I mean, from every direction we come to, the Prabhupada actually says this holy name, no? So I wanted to read this. Balaram Prabhu, you have read this before, this one? Rameshwar, Prabhupada, if the spiritual master has a mission, is it proper for the disciple to think that he can take more than one, he can take many births to help the mission of the spiritual master? Prabhupada, when the spiritual master goes there, somewhere, his nearest assistants, they automatically go there to assist him. When Krishna comes, the demigods also come to help him. That is there in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
Yeah, I know that one.
So he is equating his appearance as of Krishna. Okay. Someone can read this verse, this one. This is Madhya 25, 264. Yeah. His incarnation is predicted in two ways. Holy name and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Spreading of these two. Can someone read this, please?
Yeah, I'll happily read.
Sure, Prabhu.
The purport, yes?
No,
to deliver.
Yeah.
Okay. To deliver all fallen souls, the Lord traveled from country to country. He personally tasted the transcendental pleasure of devotional service, and he simultaneously spread the cult of devotion everywhere. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally traveled to different regions of India to spread the Bhakti cult throughout the country. He also personally relished transcendental activities. By his personal behavior, he has given an example for devotees to follow. That is, one should broadcast the cult of devotional service. He specifically instructed his devotees to enjoin all Indians to broadcast this message throughout the world, because at that time, the Lord could not personally travel to other parts of the world. In this regard, he has left two instructions.
So 1 second. See, this is the same thing. In India, so he inaugurated it, and then in India, he did himself through his devotees. And other parts of the world, you see what he's saying. He's distinguishing between the two. Please carry on, Prabhu.
Distinguishing between what two?
In India and rest of the world.
No, but he's saying he specifically instructed his devotees to enjoin all Indians, so Indian people, to broadcast the message throughout the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Because
where's the distinction?
because
Where's
of the
two? I couldn't see two.
because at that time the Lord could not personally travel to other parts of the world. So there is a distinction, no? Between India, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally traveled to different regions of India,
Uh-huh.
and then this.
Yeah.
Out of India. Yeah, please carry on, Prabhu. In this regard, he has left two instructions.
Bharata bhumite hela manushya janmayara janma sharthaka kari kara para upakara. All Indians should seriously take up the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and should perfect their lives by adopting the process of devotional service. After perfecting their lives, they should broadcast. See, this is what he mentioned before. So this is a text to all Indians, not specifically to Prabhupada, right? I mean,
Sure, I understand. Why don't
the-
we forward? He explains then. Yeah.
After perfecting their lives, they should broadcast this message all over the world for the welfare of all human beings. Para Upakara. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 9.41. A Vaishnava is especially interested in Para Upakara, doing good to others. Prahlad Maharaj was also interested in this. He did not want to be delivered alone. Rather, he wanted to deliver all fallen souls who are bereft of knowledge of bhakti and who misuse their intelligence for the temporary benefit of the material body. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also wanted his mission spread all over the world. Prithivite acheyata nagaradi grama sarvatra prachara have moranama. In every town and village, the chanting of the holy name will be heard. Following in his footsteps, we are trying to broadcast his message throughout the world. By his mercy, people are taking this movement very seriously. Indeed, our books are extensively distributed in the Western countries, especially in America and Europe. Even the ecclesiastical orders in these countries are appreciating the value of this Krishna consciousness movement and are ready to unite for the highest benefit of human society. The followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may therefore take this movement seriously and broadcast it throughout the world, from village to village and from town to town, just as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself did.
So he comes down to this. We are trying to broadcast his message and do the books. Previous one was about holy name, and this one was about the books. This is linked to this verse, Tadvaga Visargo, 1.5.11, which is talking about the Bhagavatam, bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. So, someone wants to read this, because this is the crux. Bhagavatam. All over the world, there is only his Bhagavatam. And of course, he's the ISKCON is he was and is supposed to spread the holy name all around the world and the books. And those two, he is the leader and writer. That's how he's indicated by his symptoms. Who did that? This incarnation. He predicted that this culture of Sankritan will broadcast all over the world. This one. Someone also reads this 1511.
Sure, bro. Hare Krishna, Jai Śrīla Prabhupada.
Jai Śrīla Prabhupada, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
X11. Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin prati shlokam abhavadavati api namani anantasya yasho anikitani yat shavanti gayanti grananti di sadvaha. Do we recite the synonyms?
Nice, it would be good.
Okay, synonyms. Tat, that, vak, vocabulary, visargaha, creation, janata, the people in general, aga, sense, viplavaha, revolutionary, yasmin, in which, prati shlokam, each and every stanza, abhadavati, irregularly composed, api, in spite of, namani, transcendental names, etc., anantasya, of the unlimited Lord, yasaha, glories, anikitani, depicted, yet what? Shravanti, do hear, gayanti, do sing, trananti, do accept, sadhavaha, the purified men who are honest. Translation purport by Zion Grace. A.C. Bhaktivinoda Thakur Prabhupada. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada translation. On the other hand, that literature, which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words, directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is a qualification of the great thinkers to pick up the best even from the worst. It is said that the intelligent man should pick up nectar from a stock of poison, should accept gold even from a filthy place, should accept a good and a qualified wife even from an obscure family, and should accept a good lesson even from a man or from a teacher who comes from the untouchables. These are some of the ethical instructions for everyone in every place without exception. But a saint who is far above the level of an ordinary man, he is always absorbing glorifying the Supreme Lord, because by broadcasting the holy name and fame of the Supreme Lord, the polluted atmosphere of the world will change. And as a result of propagating the transcendental literatures like Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, people will become sane in their transactions. While preparing this commentation on this particular stanza of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we have a crisis before us. Our neighboring friend China has attacked the border of India with a militaristic spirit. We have practically no business in the political field, yet we see that previously there were both China and India, and they both lived peacefully for centuries without ill feeling. The reason is that they lived those days in an atmosphere of God consciousness, and every country over the surface of the world was God-fearing, pure-hearted, and simple. And there was no question of political diplomacy. There is no cause of quarrel between the two countries, China and India, over land which is not very suitable for habitation. And certainly there is no cause for fighting on this issue. But due to the age of quarrel, Kali, which we have discussed, there is always a chance of quarrel on slight provocation. This is due to the issue in question. But to the polluted atmosphere of this age, systematically there is propaganda by a section of people to stop glorification of the name and fame of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, there is a great need for disseminating the message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam all over the world. It is the duty of every responsible Indian to broadcast the transcendental message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam throughout the world, to do all the supermost good, as well as to bring about the desired peace in the world, because India has failed in her duty by neglecting this responsible work. There is so much quarrel and trouble all over the world. We are confident that if the transcendental message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is received only by the leading men of the world, certainly there will be a change of heart. And naturally, the people in general will follow them. The mass of people in general are tools in the hands of the modern politicians and leaders of the people. If there is a change of heart of the leaders only, certainly there will be a radical change in the atmosphere of the world. We know that our honest attempt to present this great literature conveying transcendental message for reviving the God consciousness of the people in general and re-spiritualizing the world atmosphere is fraught with many difficulties. Our presenting this matter in adequate language, especially a foreign language, will certainly fail. And there will be so many literary discrepancies, despite our honest attempt to present it in the proper way. But we are sure that with all our faults in this connection, the seriousness of the subject matter will be taken into consideration. And the leaders of the society will still accept this due to its being an honest attempt to glorify the Almighty God. When there is fire in the house, the inmates of the house go out to get help from the neighbors who may be foreigners. Yet, without knowing the language of the victims of the fire express themselves. And the neighbors understand the need, even though not expressing the same language. The same spirit of cooperation is needed to broadcast this transcendental message of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam throughout the polluted atmosphere of the world. After all, it is a technical science of the spiritual values, and thus we are concerned with the techniques and not with the language. If the techniques of this great literature are understood by the people of the world, there will be success. Continue.
Mm-hmm.
When there are too many materialistic activities of by the people in general all over the world, there is no wonder that a person or a nation attacks another person or nation on slight provocation. That is the rule of this age of Kali or quarrel. The atmosphere is already polluted with corruption of all description, and everyone knows it well. There are so many unwanted literatures full of materialistic ideas of sense gratification. In many countries, there are bodies appointed by the state to detect and censor obscene literature. This means that neither the government nor the responsible leaders of the public want such literature, yet it is in the marketplace because the people want it for sense gratification. The people in general want to read that is natural instinct, but because their minds are polluted, they want such literatures. Under the circumstances, the transcendental literature like Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam will not only diminish the activities of the corrupt minds of the people in general, but also it will supply food for their hankering after reading some interesting literature. In the beginning, they may not like it because one suffering from jaundice is reluctant to take sugar candy. But we should know that sugar candy is the only remedy for jaundice. Similarly, let there be systematic propaganda for popularizing reading of the Bhagavad Gita and the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which will act like sugar candy for the jaundice-like condition of sense gratification. When men have a taste for this literature, the other literatures which are catering poison to society will then automatically cease. We are sure, therefore, that everyone in human society will welcome Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, even though it is now presented with so many faults, for it is recommended by Sri Narada, who has very kindly appeared in this chapter. Thus ends Bhaktivedanta purport.
Thank you very much. This is a huge thing, huh? This Bhagavatam. Prabhu, you want to say something? Chaitanya Prabhu? This purport?
Yeah, I think Srila Prabhupada here is basically predicting what is happening and what is going to happen. And we can see it happening right now in our daily activities. The leaders of the society are are not God conscious. And Prabhupada says you have a Shudra is picking another Shudra as a leader, and this is what happens in our society right now. So it's unfortunate, but at the same time, we are fortunate enough that we are an association of Srila Prabhupada's books. Pure devotees books are there, and the holy name is there to give us guidance from within. Chaitya Guru is within to give us guidance, so that we take the benefits, what is in front of us, and ignore the negatives. Because without that, otherwise, mind will just drive us crazy, especially with the negatives that's surrounding us. When the mind, because the mind wants us to be concerned with the negatives and ignore the positives. The positives are always going to be there, and negatives are always going to be there. But as Prabhupada says, we should always want to, and I think Prabhupada said in the purport, glorify, and many times Prabhupada says, we glorify the positives and ignore the negatives. And that is how we as devotees should be living our daily life, and not so concerned, bogged down with all the negatives that are in our world, in the world of hypocrisy that we live in. We just keep our heads up, and don't get so much into this idea of that you are going to be able to address all the negatives that are there, because negatives they're just going to eat us up mentally, and not improve us. Our ultimate goal is to desire at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna and lotus feet of pure devotees.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. This Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is unique, huh?
Mm.
Srila Prabhupada in this purport keeps talking about the whole world. Every time he talks about whole world. This is throughout the world. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam throughout the world. Re-spiritualizing the world. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam through the polluted atmosphere of the world.
Yep.
Human society will welcome Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So it's like the guidebook for the whole society for re-spiritualization. Spiritual guide, this book. So this is my, many devotees say the same thing. This is what, because of Srila Prabhupada is propagating the Bhagavatam and commenting on it. That is why he is that is how he is fulfilling Lord Chaitanya's mission of, all around the world, Prithivite Jat Nagarati Gram. Prabhupada talking about books in the same context. So in the same vein that Lord Caitanya came, his incarnation is to propagate, to start the Sankritan movement and to personally do it in India, and then for distributing it around the world, he sent Prabhupada. Just like this devotee, Prabhupada, they said that if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted Krishna consciousness in the Western countries, why didn't he go there himself? That is what they told us, Prabhupada. So he left the credit for me. Jai Haribol. But he loves his devotee more than himself. Why didn't Krishna kill everybody at the battle of Kurukshetra? Prabhupada, yes. Prabhupada, Krishna, by simple desires, he could kill. He said, therefore, Bhavishyatvam Prithivite Ache Yat Nagar Adigram Sarvatra Prachar Haiba. He is leaving the task for somebody else. So, Balram Prabhu, tell me, what do you think of this proposition, this thing, this part, 4.8 purport, that this thing, Lord Chaitanya in India, throughout India, Lord Chaitanya, And then the prediction of all over the world, he came as in his Bhakti Potency in Srila Prabhupada's body, which is in totality is the Avesa Rupa. Prabhu? Balaram Prabhu, you good with this? I think he may be, yeah. Oh, Pradyumna Prabhu, yeah.
Yeah, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, in the last two classes, we were discussing about the what is avatar, that descending. Then it was discussion going on between Balram Prabhu and Krishna Kishore Prabhu. The avatar means he should come. But we read in that Narad Muni is that Narad Muni, he was a son of a maid servant. Then he become a pure devotee. That he need not to go there. So he explained something that is equivalent that by staying here only he became like, what was that? I forgot that. You remember that, bro?
Nitya Siddha. See, this verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is talking about the avatar or incarnation of Godhead descends. So he descends is called an incarnation or avatar. Such incarnation situated in the spiritual world when they descend to the material creation. So avatar means that. So when Shaktivesh avatar is talking about Shaktivesh avatar, there is no doubt then, no, that they are descending from the spiritual world. So when Narada Rishi is described as a Shaktivesh avatar of Bhakti Shakti, that means it's descending from the spiritual world. There is no doubt no, on this from this statement. And then we saw in 1.6 1.6 where Narada Muni, she is describing this one. And so, in due course of time, I, who was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna, this is the verse number 27, and who therefore had no attachments, being completely free from all material taints, met with death, as lightning and illumination occur simultaneously. So he died. His material body went, and then he got a spiritual body, having been awarded a transcendental body befitting an associate of the personality of Godhead. I quit the body made of 5 material elements and thus acquired fruitive results, and thus all acquired results were stopped. So this was a transcendental body, Shuddham, Bhagavatim, fit for associating with the person of Godhead, body. So this is, those Sarupya Mukti or Samipya, some body like that he got. And he became situated in the Goloka, or in Vaikuntha Loka. That's Lord got his spiritual body. So spiritual body means Vaikuntha Loka. And then the 29th verse, he says, at the end of millennium, when the personality of Godhead, Lord Narayana, lay down within the water of devastation, Brahma began to enter into him along with all creative elements, and I also entered through his breathing. So this is describing his descent, his avatar, at the end of the millennium. But this didn't happen at the end of the millennium. This happened sometime, it doesn't say this is the end of the millennium. So from this time to the end of that millennium, where was he? Where was he? He was in the spiritual world, no? He got a transcendental body, It'll be somewhere in some scripture what he was doing in Vaikuntha Loka and what he does now also like that. But basically he, at the end of that millennium, he descended. And then after 4,300,000,000 solar years, when Brahma awoke to create again by the will of the Lord, all the rishis like Marichi, Angira, Atri and so on were created from the transient body of the Lord, and I also appeared along with them. So in this, he appeared. So by thus after sleeping by Brahma, when there is again creation by the will of the Lord, so all the great rishis again appear from different transcendental body, different parts of the transcendental body, and Narada also appears. This means that Narada appears in the same transcendental body, just as a man awakes from sleep in the same body. Sri Narada is eternally free to move in all parts of the transcendental material creations of the Almighty. He appears and disappears in his own transcendental body, which is without distinction of body and soul, unlike conditioned beings. Here also, his appearance and disappearance are practically on the same level as that of the Lord, Narad Muni. The Lord and his devotees are therefore simultaneously one and different spiritual entities. Same category. Same thing is described.
So to other rishis also, they also came from the body of Lord Narayan. So they are also how to understand that?
Some rishis would be transcendental already, and they are performing a role. But some rishis are going to upper planets, no? So they are in the body. So they actually go into deep sleep. Then they're coming up. Narad Muni just doing a pastime, just like it is described here. He went into, but he was fully conscious, even in deep sleep, like pure devotees are. So let's go to okay, na this thing. But Ram Prabhu, you're back. Hare Krishna Balaram Prabhu. Okay. Anyone else has anything to say in this distinction between Lord Chaitanya's inaugurating the Sankirtan and propagating it throughout India in that form, and for around the world taking this incarnation, Saktyaevsa incarnation? Say it now or forever be silent. Okay. Anybody?
Yeah, bro, one more thing. Just like the Gaudiya Vaishnav, they are also going from the time when Srila Prabhupada was there, and now they are also preaching outside. So if they have nothing like Bhagavatam, then what they are preaching? Just like, or they are preaching Srila Prabhupada's teaching only.
No, they have only Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. No? They don't have any other Bhagavatam. There is no Bhagavatam which is there in English or translated, purport, commented, nothing. No one.
So, but then how do they understand Prabhu? Like here it is mentioned, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted all over the world, it village to village, it will be spread. So, according to Gaudiya Vaishnavas, who has done all over the world, village to village? So, how do they understand?
Strange. It's so strange. Let's see, I will.
So, because Prabhu, now should we understand it like this? Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that it is spread all over the world, village to village. So, Prabhupada has done that. So, we have to understand that he is Saktyaevsa avatar. Like in that way.
Yeah, exactly. So this, can you read this? This is from CC Adi 10.7.
Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Premamarat Haroh Priyan Shakha Rupam Bhaktaganan Krishna Prema Phala Pradhan. Synonyms. Vande, I offer my obeisances. Sri Krishna Chaitanya to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prema Amarataro of the eternal tree full of love of Godhead. Priyan, those who are devotees. Shakha Rupan, represented as branches. Bhaktaganan, all the devotees. Krishna Prema, of love of Krishna. Phala, of the fruit. Pradhan, the givers. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation: I offer my obeisances to all the dear devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the eternal tree of love of Godhead. I offer my respects to all the branches of the tree, the devotees of the Lord who distribute the fruit of love of Krishna. Purport. Okay, sorry, Prabhu. Purport. Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami sets the example of offering obeisances to all the preacher devotees of Lord Chaitanya without distinction as to higher and lower. Unfortunately, at present, there are many foolish so called devotees of Lord Chaitanya who make such distinctions. For example, the title Prabhupada is offered to a spiritual master, especially to a distinguished spiritual master such as Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada, or Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. When our disciples similarly wanted to address their spiritual master as Prabhupada, some foolish people became envious, not considering the propaganda work of the Hare Krishna movement simply because these disciples addressed their spiritual master as Prabhupada. They become so envious that they formed a faction along with other such envious persons just to minimize the value of Krishna consciousness movement. To chastise such fools, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami very frankly says, Keha kari bare nare, jeshtha lagu krama. Anyone who is a bona fide preacher of the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must be respectful to the real devotees of Lord Chaitanya. One should not be envious considering one preacher to be very great and another to be very lowly. This is a material distinction and has no place on the platform of spiritual activities. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami therefore offers equal respect to all the preachers of the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are compared to the branches of the tree. ISKCON is one of these branches, and it should therefore be respected by all sincere devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Adilila 10:7.
So this is the thing, they became envious, some of them. It's like what you're saying, no? And some, they read all these things and they understand. They have clean heart. They understand Srila Prabhupada is the Shakti Vesh of.
Okay.
So in the scriptures, this is also, we were discussing this there's a Naam Alwar. I want to go there. Maybe later we can go on this thing. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he also gives the same thing, this prediction. Lord Chaitanya did not advance himself to liberate only a few men in India. Rather, his main objective was to emancipate all living entities of all countries throughout the entire universe and preach the eternal religion. There is no doubt that this unquestionable order will come to pass. Very soon, the unparalleled path of Harinam Sankirtan will be propagated all over the world. Oh, for that day when the fortunate English, French, Russian, German, and American people will take up banners, mridangas, and kartals and raise kirtan throughout their streets and towns. When will that day come? That day will witness the holy transcendental ecstasy of the Vaishnava Dharma to be only Dharma, and all the sects and religions will flow like rivers into the ocean of Vaishnava Dharma. When will that day come? I also want to ask, when will that day come? Because this is not happening right now, no? So this is the thing, this prediction of holy name spreading and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam spreading, which Srila Prabhupada in this incarnation is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this incarnation of Srila Prabhupada is doing. That's how his prediction is, by his work. Now, the second point I want to make is, any topic of discussion on this point till now?
Yeah, Prabhu, I forgot that na. We are discussing that Bhagavatam, and we have recently discussed that Srila Prabhupada has given Bhagavatam, not the other, just like Gaudiya Vaishnava. So what was there, na? That taking shelter of the spiritual master means Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. So how to relate with that Bhagavatam? That na, we were discussing four things that Shakshad Haritu and
Yeah.
so what was that by Bhagavatam? It was something related that we have discussed.
1 to 18, no? Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1 to 18.
Yeah, you can just give me a little summary. What was the?
This is basically Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So one is to get purification of the heart, which is Anartha Nivritti, which comes from Bhajana Kriya. No? So that can happen by, the easiest way to happen is by taking shelter, serving the pure devotee, Bhagavat, and by serving the Bhagavatam, reading the Bhagavatam daily. So that is how in Kali Yuga, this is how the best way to purify the heart is to perform bhajana kriya. So that spiritual master will be the best to do, is to serve that spiritual master who is from whom one is also reading the Bhagavatam. And that the Bhagavatam is only Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. So it becomes A is equal to B, B is equal to C, A is equal to C. That on the spiritual master of the whole world can only be Prabhupada because of his Bhagavatam. And the Bhagavatam purport, he has given so many detailed instructions for Guru, for a disciple to do. Like 16 on chanting and all these things. How to preach in the West. So many things. We have been discussing that last year. Okay, no? I mean, and it's in many other places also. Many places. The Nectar of Devotion, chapter 7, first page, talks about that. One should take shelter of a guru who to learn and study Bhagavatam from. It's one of the indications or one of the symptoms of taking shelter of guru. Also, we have been going through that again and again.
Yeah.
What else?
You just said one thing, na? Anarth Nirvati. What was that? That Ado Shraddha, then Sadhu Sang, then Bhajan. Yeah, then Anarth Nirvati. How you connected that?
Srila Prabhupada says that Anartha Nivritti again and again for this verse. Many times I have heard him say this thing. I'm sure you would have also heard this. The Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1, 2. This Nashta Prayashu Abhaddeshu, talks about this thing is Anartha Nivritti stage. He almost nil, he even says in lecture is 75% Anartha Nivritti. Bhadreshu. He connects it to anarthas. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the person of Godhead, praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. It is a remedy for eliminating all inauspicious things within the heart, which are considered to be obstacles in the path of self-realization. The remedy is the association of the Bhagavatas. There are the two types of Bhagavatas, namely the book Bhagavat and the devotee Bhagavat. But the Bhagavatas are competent remedies, and both of them or either of them can be good enough to eliminate the obstacles. A devotee Bhagavat is as good as the book Bhagavat because the devotee Bhagavat leads his life in terms of the book Bhagavat, and the book Bhagavat is full of information about the personality of Godhead and his pure devotees who are also Bhagavatas. Bhagavat book and person are identical. The devotee Bhagavat is a direct representative of Bhagwan, the personality of Godhead. So by pleasing the devotee Bhagavat, one can receive the benefit of the book Bhagavat. Human reason fails to understand how by serving the devotee Bhagavat, this is the 434 Sevaya, or the book Bhagavat, one gets gradual promotion on the path of devotion. But actually these are facts explained by Srila Naradev, who happened to be a maidservant's son in his previous life. The maidservant was engaged in the menial service of the sages, and thus he also came in contact with them. And simply by associating with them and accepting the remnants of foodstuffs left by the sages, the son of maidservant got the chance to become the great devotee and personality Srila Naradev. These are the miraculous effects of the association of Bhagavatas. And to understand these effects practically, it should be noted that by such sincere association of Bhagavatas, one is sure to receive transcendental knowledge very easily, with the result that he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. So this is the Nishra. The more progress is made in devotional service under the guidance of the Bhagavatas, the more one becomes fixed in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The messages of the book Bhagavata therefore have to be received from the devotee Bhagavat. Okay. So that means Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam. He is the Guru. And the combination of these Bhagavatas helps the neophyte devotee to make progress on and on. This is the Markine Bhagavad Dharma poem. So he gave the whole prescription right there. Now we come to the most interesting part, which I like, is so this propagation which Srila Prabhupada is talking about of the Saktyaevsa avatar of propagating the holy name and the Bhagavatam, he is not doing it himself. He is doing it through International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He says he talks about Caitanya Mahaprabhu doing it himself, then sending these devotees, great personalities, Nityananda Prabhu himself. But here he doesn't say himself alone. He says International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He's distinguishing. And then again he says the members of this society must remember that if they stick to the regular principles and preach sincerely according to the instructions of the Acharyas, surely they will have the profound blessings of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and their preaching work will be successful everywhere throughout the world. So, many places he is doing the same thing together, he with his devotees. That is the, in a sense, Shakti Vesh avatar. And one can see here also. This is Adi 9:18. Thus the branches of Chaitanya tree formed a cluster of society with great branches covering all the universe. These branches are all pure devotees mentioned in the 9th chapter, 10th chapter. But he says our International Society of Krishna Consciousness is one of the branches of the Chaitanya tree. Again, he doesn't say I or we or something humble we. We are. Just like he says here, no? When our disciples is humble we. About this Krishna conscious movement. Where did it go? Yeah.
So that all the branches are like pure devotees. That means ISKCON, where Srila Prabhupada formed, that is also like acting like a pure movement. But
We'll come to one second. I will. So see here, he could say, see, we are trying to broadcast this message throughout the world. He could say like that, no? We are one of the branches or something like this, but he didn't. He says it's gone. It's gone. Our international Krishna consciousness is one of the branches. Same thing in the 10th chapter, 7th verse, Adi Lila. Same thing he says. Shakha Rupam is represented as branches, Bhakta Ganan, all the devotees, you know. So I offer my obeisance to all the dear devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These are all pure devotees, Nitya Siddhas, eternal associates. The eternal tree of love of God. It's an eternal tree, eternal associates. I offer my respects to all the branches of the tree, the devotees of the Lord who distribute the fruit of love of Krishna. Purport. This we did that. The branches of the tree. ISKCON is one of these branches. So why is saying like that? So this is a conversation with Radha Damodar Sankirtan party in Mayapur in March 16th, 1976. So there, it's very good. Somebody wants to read this? I mean, it would be good if we can hear this directly. If somebody can bring it up, Rancho Prabhu, we want to bring it up from warning source. Rancho Prabhu, you can bring it up?
Yeah, I'll try, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'm sending this. At the right place, you have to bring it, huh?
Okay.
There, a little bit down. You can read that later. But here, he's talking about okay, so because this is, I don't know if anyone has any other things to make by the time Rancho Prabhu brings it up. Your point
Where is the conversation, Prabhu? Starts at
starts at
just 2 lines. You copy paste and send me, Prabhu. First 2 lines. Yes.
So, Prabhu,
yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
so there it is, Prabhupada is mentioning now that ISKCON is one of these branches.
Mhm.
So, how to understand? Is it talking about the Gaudiya Sampradaya, or he is talking for other organizations which are coming from Prabhupada, whose understanding is Prabhupada is a Diksha Guru?
Prabhupada says ISKCON, so we have to take it like that, no? ISKCON.
No, but yeah, we can take ISKCON, but he's saying is one of these branches.
Yeah.
Why we take only ISKCON? Why we can keep the why we are not considering the rest?
So let's do that. Let's go to Rancho Prabhu. Whenever you are ready, you let me know. Huh? So this, let's go to Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 10th chapter. This is where the branches are described and sub-branches. These the description Lord Chaitanya as the gardener and the tree is inconceivable. Now here with attention about the branches of this tree. The associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are many, but none of them should be considered lower or higher. This cannot be ascertained. So this is Parishad. You know, Krishna's 11:5:32. You know that verse, right? Sango Parsh, Sango Parsh, what is it? Sango Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam, Sango Parshada, what is it? Sango, somebody wants to tell me? 11:5:32. Sango Pangastra Parshadam. Sango Pangastra Parshadam. This Parshadam, these associates, they are coming from the spiritual world. You know, all the great personalities in the line of Lord Caitanya enumerated these devotees, but they could not distinguish between the greater and lesser. I offer my obeisance unto them as a token of respect. I request them not to consider my offenses. So I don't see anyone who is other a non-pure devotee, Nitya Siddha, in this branch. All of them are great devotees, like pure devotees, Nitya Siddha. They are not half like that or non-pure devotee. You know? So, I mean, there is no incident. People say, oh, we are a branch, but branch is a pure devotee branch, no? Otherwise, how is it an eternal branch? So sub-branches are also all pure devotees. These are all his associates or sub-branches, all pure devotees. Ansha Prabhu, you ready? His dis-
Prabhu,
No
can you go
problem,
back to
Prabhu.
that sentence? Sorry to
Which one?
no the previous sentence, now where it is written ISKCON and its branches and other.
Yeah. See, Lord Chaitanya's program is pure devotional service. There is no, this tree is of pure devotional service, pure devotional platform. There is not a mixed devotional platforms branch. This is just like there's like people who are, they're trying to bring down the branches of the tree to be their level. And then saying, oh, we are all in the same thing. And I mean, it's not the same, no? The pure devotional platform. No? I mean, you can go through this. All the devotees are pure devotees. All the branches. Pandit Jagannananda, there was Rukmini, right? Satyabhama. And so, I mean, this is that level, no? Raghav Pandit was Khara. No. So, no. Raghav Confidential Gopi.
Nimai Pandit Prabhu,
Prabhu?
you just showed some line that said how ISKCON is one of the branches and should be respected by all
Yeah. Preachers.
Vaishnava devotees, by all preachers, something like that. So can you explain a little bit more what does Prabhupada mean by ISKCON? Because, Prabhupada is saying ISKCON, and ISKCON is full of many devotees. And we more or less know that none of those devotees in ISKCON, in Prabhupada's time or now, are pure devotees. But Prabhupada is saying ISKCON.
Yeah.
So ISKCON would be a collection of devotees that are on various different levels, but
Yes.
still he's saying
Yeah.
it's a bona fide branch.
Yes. But The whole point is that they are under.
So is this accepted in this text? Is it accepted that ISKCON is an incarnation of Prabhupada, therefore it's a pure branch, therefore it's a branch?
Yeah, so ISKCON, the way Srila Prabhupada is doing it is he, as the leader, people following him on the pure, and if they are following him, they are on the same pure devotional platform till they follow him.
Same as who?
Srila Prabhupada.
So
Then
people who follow Prabhupada are on the same level as Prabhupada.
on the pure devotional platform, yeah. That's how they become one of the branches, no?
No, I don't understand that. Can you elaborate on that? So you're following Prabhupada fully, therefore you're as good as Prabhupada.
Well, no, not as good as Prabhupada. On the same platform, we're talking of Anya Abhilashita Shunyam platform.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying also.
That platform, all of the devotees, if they follow Srila Prabhupada, then they are on the pure devotion platform. That is what Srila Prabhupada keeps saying, pure devotees associated with pure devotees. When he talks about like that pure devotees, he is meaning devotees in ISKCON who are following him. You see?
But Prabhupada knew, I mean, certainly Prabhupada knew there were disciples that are not following him purely. I mean, I even met this year in Vrindavan.
Yeah.
What's that devotee's name? Guru Kripa Prabhu?
Yeah.
And we had a private conversation with him. And he told us very bluntly, very clearly that he directly said to Prabhupada, I want to take initiation, but I can't follow 4 regulative principles. I follow 3. You accept me like that? And he said, yes.
See, because he accepting, no? So what's the problem?
I'm not saying there's a problem.
Then it is the same thing, no? Srila Prabhupada, he didn't give him that instruction, so what's the problem? They are following Srila Prabhupada. No?
But he didn't follow purely. Guru Kripa Prabhu, he told us himself.
No. Purely means to please Srila Prabhupada, no? So that Srila Prabhupada says, do this. And people are doing that with all their desire and no, that's, if they are doing that, first of all, we were discussing that they need to be doing this, taking shelter, as he is equal to God. He is, whatever he's speaking is perfect. That is the first stage of pure devotional platform. Second stage is then obeying his instructions. One who is doing that is on a pure devotional platform. Then more and more progressively, as one does more and more. So, so that is what we are talking about. And that if somebody is not able to do, go like he said to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada accepted him. So what's the problem?
No one is saying there's a
That
problem.
instruction
We're
was
just
not
stating
applicable on
fact.
Guru Kripa, no? That instruction was not applicable on Guru Kripa, no?
Say that again. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Fourth, in that, the fourth, whatever sin he was doing, that regulative principle instruction, Srila Prabhupada took it away. Like,
Yeah.
so then he's still following, no, Srila Prabhupada. I don't know.
So then how can you collectively say Maya ISKCON everywhere?
We have gone through again and again this point, Prabhu,
That's
because
okay. We can
they
go
are
through it
not
again.
following.
If we get in a sentence now, which it says in front of us, ISKCON is one of the branches, and you're saying Maya ISKCON, then of course we have a right to ask again.
They are not doing the basic thing, no, Prabhu. Like we are talking about as an organization, not individuals who are doing, many of them. So when we talk of organization as a whole, we just went through it. Kuva Prabhu brought.
But organization is a collection of devotees.
By
So when you say, when you state Maya ISKCON, you're saying everybody in ISKCON is in Maya.
Leaders. People who are following the leaders, they are in Maya. People who are following Srila Prabhupada, the leader, they are not. So many people in ISKCON I know who don't follow these leaders. They follow Srila Prabhupada as their main guru, main guide, main principle, everything is. So
why are you saying Maya ISKCON? You're making some...
As an organization, it is, because their policies are not following Srila Prabhupada.
But you just said some of them are.
Not the leaders, Prabhu, the policies, no? See, because many again we go back to the same, it's like chasing the tail of a
No, that's okay. Because like I said, anytime we
our
read,
understanding that leadership doesn't make an organization is shastrically wrong, no? So many times I even quoted so many instructions of Srila Prabhupada about how leadership makes the society. Any
but
organization.
you just said to us that leadership doesn't make a society because there are some people who don't follow leadership and they're in ISKCON and they're following Prabhupada nicely, right? You just said.
So those are on the pure devotional platform. They are real ISKCON. See, it is in function, no? It's not like a.
But you have to understand when you say Maya ISKCON, you may make that distinction, but everybody else is saying, oh, everybody in ISKCON is in Maya. Everything in ISKCON is in Maya. The deities, the temple, the people, right?
No. Prabhu, this is your. No. I see
I'm
that.
asking you.
Go
I'm
in
asking you.
that. See, the mercy of Krishna from Lord Caitanya, Srila Prabhupada, is there purely available to every single person on the planet, including more so in organization, including even this current Maya ISKCON. He's there fully. Krishna is present, Srila Prabhupada's books, everything is there. People are, but it is covered over because of a policy. When it is trying to be covered over, no, then there is a Maya jal, Maya net is being thrown. Most people can't get out of it. Some people can get out of it, but that is not the main organization. Because of the policy, the leader said this is the policy, and people follow that. Then that becomes pervasive. Some people escape from it. So I don't understand what is the problem to understand that.
Yeah, you won't understand.
It's a direct perception, no? Also, that is how it is.
Prabhupada is stating here ISKCON is one of the branches, and you're saying Maya ISKCON. Then
That-
you say it's Maya ISKCON because of management, but some people inside there are following Prabhupada nicely, don't follow the management, so they're pure devotees. So then how can you be calling them Maya ISKCON? Oh no, I'm not calling them Maya ISKCON, I'm just calling them management. But when you say Maya ISKCON, everybody thinks it's all Maya. Don't go to the temples, don't go to the deities, don't associate with those devotees.
which
You don't make clarity like this or like that. And certainly the people you're talking to don't make that. You're making a blanket statement, Maya ISKCON.
just like Srila Prabhupada said, don't associate with my God brothers. He's making blanket statements because this is when you're giving instructions, you're not doing exceptions, no? Srila Prabhupada is saying, don't associate with Gaudiyama because they can only harm. That doesn't mean some of the devotees were not pure devotees. So when someone specifically asked about that devotee, Prabhupada would say, yeah, he was himself showing by example. Some of the devotees and he was associating with and he was telling devotees to associate with. But as a general principle, Srila Prabhupada himself is talking about that don't associate because they can only harm, because they are on a lower platform, as he explained. They're envious most of the time, most of the people. So in the similar vein, and many times he has talked about the institution going down. There were two branches of devotees of my spiritual master's mission. One of them they followed purely. One of them didn't follow, and they are fighting among themselves. So we didn't follow. He making general statements, no, all the time, Prabhu. So in the same vein, this is 2135. Send me the link.
I have downloaded the audio file, Prabhu. Actually, that Prabhupada Vani, it is too slow server. I don't know. Audio was not playing and I'm unable to download from there. So I downloaded it from a different place.
So you want to play?
Yeah, I can play. I can play, Prabhu. You were able to hear, Prabhu?
No.
Yeah, that's all. I think we have to screen share, I think.
Yeah, screen share it.
1 second.
No. Okay, we can screen share is coming.
Okay, from here, right? So some meeting is not from here, I think.
Yeah.
Can you hear the audio, Prabhu?
Just give me the warning source. Okay, let me go there. I can bring it up. Source. Oh, yeah, this is important because Srila Prabhupada talks about why he's saying ISKCON, not himself. A little bit.
You are able to hear, Prabhu?
Prabhuji, can we follow the words also? That seems much better.
We can't
Yeah,
hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear anything.
Very
Okay.
less, very less. I can bring it up. 1 second.
Okay, Prabhu. I'll send you the link of this exact file, Prabhu. You can download this. 1 second.
Don't need to download it.
So while you are doing this, actually a thought is coming, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, while Ranjor Prabhu is working on it.
Yeah.
So the devotees who are in ISKCON and they have been initiated by so-called gurus, but if in their heart they have accepted Srila Prabhupada as a Diksha Guru, or they are considering Diksha Guru as Srila Prabhupada,
Big perfect you are.
See, it is not a question of Diksha Guru or like that. This is the main Guru whom they are surrendering to, they're taking shelter of in function. No, like same with us, no? So it doesn't mean that, oh, we are Prabhupada, the Prabhupada no God, anything like that. That doesn't mean anything. You know, it's the function, no? It's the consciousness. Prabhu, you don't understand, Balram Prabhu, that leadership makes an organization. There is a, we can discuss that one other time. Okay. Also, Prabhu, you can leave that. I have it. Everything is there now.
About this universe.
People can hear?
Yes, Prabhu. You can hear.
Able to speak perfectly what is there in the moon planet. They are trying to go at. Still they are claiming perfection as perfect as God. How lunatic.
Think that other some newly initiated Brahmin hadn't come from.
So submitting you not going to help them.
Yeah, there's constantly kirtans, discourse,
Lecture.
So
Caitanya Mahaprabhu soldier to fight to fire.
you are our commander in chief of.
Caitanya Mahaprabhu himself says, Ekaki amar nahi paye God. When he Chaitanya Charitamrita, yeah, say. The first part you can find out the verse. Ekaki amar nahi paye.
They're making a song also, one of the Vaishnava songs.
Yeah, this is first part. Look in the index. You can feel it. You are reading books also. Not selling, but you are reading.
Really, they are soldiers because many of them have been very severely beaten by police authorities and others during the distribution. Yeah. Men who are here now, this room, some of them have been put in jails. Watch out, let them put in jails, beaten, just for distributing these books.
There is no legal action.
So what courts?
Some places the police have conspiracy against our employees.
What is your fault?
We have no fault, except that we are successful. We are so successful that we are envious.
People who are guarded.
You have found out.
No, he has been arrested. Goodbye.
Oh, there is no index.
First chapter.
How you find it? Let's have an index, please. The purpose of the verse is that in Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he is God, Kṛṣṇa himself. He felt alone, unable to do stuff. This is what is wrong. You are cooperating, therefore I am getting the credit. Otherwise, alone, what could I do? Caitanya Mahaprabhu himself wanted our cooperation. He is God, Kṛṣṇa. Therefore, cooperation is very important. Nobody thinks that I have got so great ability, I can do. No. It is simply by cooperation we can do very big things. United we stand, divided we fall. This is be strong in pushing on Krishna consciousness. Kṛṣṇa will help is the strongest. Still, we must be combined to it. Sankritan needs many men combined to it. They chant. That is Sankritan. Otherwise, Kirtan. Bahuvi militva kirtayati sankirtana. Bahu means many combined together. That is Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Combined together. All nations, all persons, they should combine together. There is hope in our society. combination. There are Hindus, there are Muslims, there are Christians, there are black, white, combined. That looks very beautiful. There's a combination of any flower. There is black flower. So it looks nice. Very nice. Each and every flower take alone, it is not beautiful. But when they combine together, it looks beautiful. They attract. That is one thing. Because the spiritual platform, we are all one. Pandita, Samadars. Spiritual platform, every one of us, we are servant of Kṛṣṇa. So where is the competition between one side and another? There is competition, the center is Kṛṣṇa. If we can serve more. So that competition is very welcome. Because there is no personal interest. Everyone is trying how to serve Kṛṣṇa more. That is what the competition is there in its real form and perverted form. The real form, the Kṛṣṇa is the and the perverted form, and I compete with you to satisfy my senses more. What is called heliocentric and egocentric. This is egocentric.
Should be Krishna-centered.
Yes, then it is content. The competition must remain. Others, they say, why competition? Make him hero. That is imperfect. But competition to satisfy Kṛṣṇa, that is reality. Huh? Yes, yes. What is the meaning?
Meaning is, I do not find the strength to carry on alone the saṅkīrtana as the holy name of Hari. Please bless me by giving me just one drop of faith, in which one can obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna.
So nobody is powerful alone. In Krishna's service also. Combined together.
I think there's no question of being alone anyway. Because Guru is always with one.
Yes, that is the idea. Guru is also depending. When competition means I depend on you, you depend on me. That is coming.
So Guru is also depending, not alone. So this words, just for reference, Ekaki Amar Nahi Paya Bol, that's from O. Vaishnava Thakur. But Srila Prabhupada, I think he was referring to chapter 9, Adi Lila, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about how can I distribute this fruits alone. This one, Bahubhir Militva Kirtayeti Sankirtan. Together Sankirtan is when Bahu means many combined together. That is it. And this is from, I looked it up, and this is from Bhakti Sandarbha 63 of Srila Jiva Goswami. This one. Yadi Saksha Deva Mahat 62 verse. Pravanam Bhagyam na sampadayate tadaiva swayam prithak kirtanam iti gaha gana shakti abhave tat shrunoti Tad, where did it go? Tad anun modanam bahubhir militva kritanam sankirtanam. That's the one. When one is not engaging in the Lord's glories from a great soul, one may personally engage in chanting the Lord's glories. If one has no power to chant the Lord's glories, then one may simply hear. Chanting the Lord's glories becomes a source of great pleasure for the chanter. When many are assembled together to hear and chant the Lord's glories, the chanting is called Sankirtan. 62, Bhakti Sandarbha. So this is what Srila Prabhupada is meaning here when he's talking about this, where we go, ISKCON. Instead of putting himself, he with his pure devotee disciples forms the ISKCON. That ISKCON becomes part of the branches, and not corruption like mixed devotion and all that, pure devotional. Anyway. So,
Yeah, Prabhu.
yes, Prabhu.
Just like Srila Prabhupada make a statement that just like he can liberate the whole world, just like pure devotee.
Yeah.
So how to understand that thing? Just like one person, for many devotees, he used to say like that. The Bhaktivinoda Thakur also.
So Srila Prabhupada is doing, no? Through his Bhagavatam, through his ISKCON, real ISKCON. So he is one person, no? But he himself is saying, I depend on others. Like Lord Caitanya, he himself can deliver. Similarly, Kṛṣṇa could also, like this is the one, no? Kṛṣṇa could fight and he'll see this one. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted Krishna consciousness in the Western countries, why didn't he go there himself? He left the credit for me because he loves his devotees more than himself, so he wants to glorify him. So he does that. So he is thinking of other devotees. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada could also alone deliver everyone. Actually, it is said that Prahlad Maharaj, he delivered everyone by taking their sins. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying, you can take, but then again it will be filled up by other souls who are conditioned and who commit sinful activities. So in this pastime, there is a nice verse, I will bring it up, where Srila Prabhupada is talking about this from the Bhagavatam in Ram pastime. It is described how his how he wanted to give the same thing credit to his devotees, and that's why he does that. In this pastime, it is because he wants to help purify us and also engage in that pleasure once we are purified, to defeat the demons and preach.
So,
yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry to interrupt again, but actually, where we were reading, conversations. So in that conversation, Prabhupada is mentioning about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He can also not do it alone. No?
Not that he cannot do it alone.
Yeah. So that is the point. No? Generally, we
Like that. It's feeling like that. So he says.
Because Prabhupada is saying that when he says that I cannot do it alone, we understand he's taking a humble position. But
he is God himself, Krishna himself. He felt alone.
Felt alone. Okay.
He felt.
Felt, okay. Yeah, now it makes sense. Maybe I was missing the word felt. I didn't see, every word is so important to
There is
understand.
a mood one goes into. They are in this mood. Not they cannot do it.
Yeah, now it makes totally sense, Prabhu. I didn't notice that, or I didn't heard that word carefully. Felt.
So this ISKCON in the cooperative mode with devotees, even in Prabhupada Nugas we can see. If we are not cooperating, that means we are not on the pure devotional platform. We are not in real ISKCON, really strictly speaking. He says like that. Spiritual platform, every one of us, we are servant of Krishna. So where is the competition between one servant and another?
Like a cooperative competition we need to do, huh?
In that mode, then we are becoming pure devotees, followers of pure devotee Srila Prabhupada. That is the pure ISKCON, the real ISKCON. That ISKCON will deliver the world. Otherwise, if we, Prabhupada Nugas also, we may be in our own way, we are doing it, but we are not cooperating, we cannot. People who are not accepting Srila Prabhupada as good as God and the whole taking shelter properly and not following instructions, then they definitely are not. So that ISKCON is the branch of branch.
Yeah, but still, don't forget, it's always on an individual base. So you may not accept Prabhupada as a pure devotee. And you connect me to Prabhupada or his books, and then I read and I accept Prabhupada as a pure devotee.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not necessary that because you're not pure, you can't, further down the line, pure devotees can't be awakened through their contact with Prabhupada and serving Prabhupada and accepting Prabhupada.
True, very true. The point is that yad yad acharati shreshthas. Generally, people follow the leaders. We can see in every line, everywhere Srila Prabhupada, and many places Srila Prabhupada talks about that, and it's a material principle that how the leaders are, generally the most of the followers will become like them because they follow them. Most people want to follow. Otherwise, Krishna won't say these words. No, he has set up a world like that. So when the leaders are corrupt, most of the organization becomes corrupted. It's the law of nature is like that. Some people are not. They are more independently thoughtful. They have more like they come out of it.
So, Prabhuji, if I ask you this question, that it's kind of funny because we're giving ISKCON gurus more credit, they are gurus, than their own followers, actually, because we're saying the disciples are often. But if we look at the reality, ISKCON devotees, by far and large, most of them spend more time associated with Prabhupada because, like you said, even Gaudiya Math people, they read Prabhupada's Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
So therefore, actually, without knowing it or accepting it, they're associated with Prabhupada even more than their so-called Shiksha or Diksha gurus. So if the larger amount of time or an association take place with Prabhupada anyway, even within ISKCON, so surely they're getting fed from that vine more than they are from what they hear from their guru who they see once a year for like 1 hour, 2 hours.
I mean, you are very correct. The amount, the quantity is definitely would be there more of Srila Prabhupada. The problem is that little bit, like the thing which they are following from ISKCON policy institution as a whole, or their gurus or leaders in the temple and other people as a whole, that problem is that goes inside between Srila Prabhupada and them, and it undermines what Srila Prabhupada is saying. So many, I mean, we don't want to go through that because we are covering that for last 1 year. But what happens then? The faith, to that degree, starts coming down in Srila Prabhupada's statements. Like I gave the example how even in Bangalore temple, when I joined, Jayapataka Swami was the guru of everyone in the temple, and some statement of Srila Prabhupada. We are all Srila Prabhupada's books, lectures. Madhuparan Prabhu was really into the Srila Prabhupada's lecture we should hear. And twice a week we were having Srila Prabhupada speaking on the audio, Bhagavatam class, and a written whole lecture given to each devotee. So everyone could follow Srila Prabhupada what he's saying. So out of 7 days, Madhuparan Prabhu gave 2 days lecture, Srila Prabhupada gave 2 days, Chandrapati Prabhu will give 2 days. See? This is how it used to be. Now, still people are following these gurus. And why? Because there were 2-3 things being talked about everywhere, which is, one is that Jayapataka Swami is an eternal associate of Lord Caitanya. Oh, so eternal associates meaning He's a Nitya Siddha coming down from the spiritual world. So what is the question of no philosophy, nothing will apply. Like we can't even, we can't discriminate if he is looking like he is not following Srila Prabhupada's instructions, the basic instructions. Eating so much, so many ways of, I mean, I don't want to go personally like that. So many things he was doing, they were all because he eternal associate. That's why he's doing it. It was all like turned over. Why? Because the temple authorities were telling and propagating this thing that he is eternal associate. Second thing they were saying is Srila Prabhupada appointed them as gurus. So then what happens is, because of these transcendental instruction or kind of, it wipes out all the things which Srila Prabhupada's lecture is saying. Guru means Akshadhari, Guru has to be on the highest platform, all these things. And Jayaprakash Swami's, his personal dealings are not on that platform. Still, he is like overlooking all of that. That's the problem. That becomes like a Sahaja thinking. Oh, just because this thing is, I will stop thinking about the instruction. So that is what I went through this. I went through going through Srila Prabhupada's instructions, applying it on Jayaprakash Swami and seeing it doesn't apply. And then it took me about 6 months to 1 year to figure this thing out, because it was being so heavily put on top of everyone that everyone kind of eyes got covered over. Even while reading Srila Prabhupada books, the Madhupani Prabhu had, like, we wanted devotees to read so much Srila Prabhupada books. So every morning we would go up for the Mangala Arati. We had to write down what time Mangala Arati we have come, and also how many hours of books we read yesterday. See, in spite of that, this Sahaja thinking was going on. He was crying like this. Oh my God, he's in ecstasy. So like that. So this is what happens, Prabhu, because of the authority, the leadership talking about many of the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, they become invisible. And then they go away from the pure devotional platform.
So yeah, Prabhu, so then what is the meaning of that? Na? Either of them or one of them. Just like I have only Bhagavatam. So how to understand?
Yeah.
Just like I have only book, I am reading book.
Yeah.
And I do not have that. Na? So just like Balram was saying that in that na Gaudiya Sampradaya, they are having that book and they are reading for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that will not work.
The problem is somebody else comes in the middle, no? And tells, because of what they say, the instructions of Bhagavatam which is given, it becomes lesser. Just like Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada writes that the statements of Bhagavad Gita of Krishna are like sun. They are clear. You don't need something else to make sunlight clear, no? It's just like sunlight is there. Why do you need anything else? But these commentators, they distort the meaning, so that even Krishna's word, they put something else, because of which the real meaning of Krishna is becoming lost. Now, the same exact thing, the parampara is getting lost because of what they say, this, things get a little diverted. So it looks a lot like Krishna is saying, a lot like what Srila Prabhupada is saying, but in ISKCON, let's say overall, this Maya ISKCON, which I keep calling, because of this reason, that overall these so many instructions, this is like some kind of interpretation is pushed. And because of which most devotees are not able to distinguish the line coming down, the pure devotional line, and they get diverted into this line. And that's how the 13 Sahaja, when you read Srila Prabhupada talking about how these 13 what called Sahaja cults or sects have come out, it's like that. They were pure before, and then they get distorted, little, and they go more and more like that. So that's
Yeah,
what's so important to stick to the real, real direct meaning. Yes, Prabhu.
It was just like you were reading that na, Prabhupada book, and you are cross-checking with Jayapataka Swami Maharaj's activities, and other devotees, they are not doing. So how you got, how to understand that thing? That somebody, just like Madhu Pandit Prabhu, you or somebody, they are getting, and others, they are.
I will come back to this point. If you read, you want to read this, CC Madhya 635.
Yeah, okay. In his book Sarva Samvadini, Srila Jiva Goswami has noted that although there are 10 kind of evidence, direct perception, the Vedic version, historical reference, hypothesis, and so on, and although they are all generally accepted as evidence, the person presenting a hypothesis, reading the Vedic version, hmm, perceiving or interpreting by his experience, is certain to be imperfect in four ways. That is, he is subject to committing mistakes, to becoming illusioned, to cheat, and to have imperfect senses. Although the evidence may be correct, the person himself is in danger of being misled due to his material defects. Apart from the direct presentation, there is a chance that an interpretation may not be perfect. Hmm? Apart from the direct presentation, there is a chance that an interpretation may not.
And you will understand more.
Yeah. Therefore, the conclusion is that only a direct presentation can be considered evidence. An interpretation cannot be accepted as evidence, but may be considered proof of evidence. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami has warned us not to depend on any kind of interpretation. It is better to take the verse as they are without interpretation. Chaitanya Chaitamrit Madhya 6.135 per.
This is the thing, Prabhu. Directly, see, I don't know why I started thinking of when Srila Prabhupada is saying something, somehow I wanted to take only what Srila Prabhupada was saying directly rather than the interpretations being put. And that's my saving grace. That's why I stick to the direct interpretations, direct interpretation so much. Really deeply go into Srila Prabhupada's instruction and really take them as their face value.
So could you can a little elaborate this? Although the evidence may be correct, the person himself in danger of being misled due to his, what was that simplifier?
This one?
Yes, for this middle part, that is subject to.
So, like, if I give an interpretation, like, let's say these devotees may be very good, very advanced devotees in ISKCON, but still these problems may happen subject to these things. So, if one is interpreting it, there is chance that that could not be the right conclusion, right understanding. So Srila Prabhupada writes the conclusion is that direct presentation should be considered as the evidence. Direct presentation, direct meaning. There are so many other places Srila Prabhupada then explains this function too. He gives the example of someone says, I mean, the Kurukshetra, that in that context he talks about. That someone says, like Mahatma Gandhi says, Kurukshetra is not a real place, it's a body. So Sri Prabhupada says, no, the direct interpretation is that Kurukshetra is a place. Because it says about Kurukshetra, Dharma Kshetra. It's a Dharma Kshetra. Kshetra, it's a place. And then there is a Kurukshetra also existing. That's a proof of evidence. So that is Kurukshetra is a place, is a direct meaning. He talks, then he gives an analogy to say, someone says, oh, there's a house on the river. So someone says, on the river, how can there be house? Oh, that means then someone interprets it saying it's on the bank of the river. Then it is okay. Because if the direct meaning is not correct, I mean, it is not possible, then the indirect meaning then is taken. But otherwise, one should always take the direct meaning, directly, direct presentation. Whatever it says here, we should just accept it as it is without putting something else with somebody else is saying something else. Directly, we should take it without, that is what Srila Prabhupada, when he talks about independently thoughtful, that is what I consider what is independently thoughtful, is really taking the direct presentation without anyone's else thought coming in the middle of us, our seeing the scriptural injunctions. Because everything else, the hypothesis is historically somebody is saying this is how it has been done, or in other books it has been written like that. Directly we are seeing my own experience of how I became devotee. In my case, this way, that way. We can't take that as evidence. It looks so much like this, direct person. Oh, I became a devotee like that. It is so personal and direct. That, but that is not the way to take what the scriptures are saying. What is the direct conclusion?
When sometimes we say that direct, what you call, directly it is present like this.
Direct
Still, the direct presentation. So in that also sometimes they, Mayavadi or somebody, they say, no, like this is this. So how to?
No, that is the point. No, as soon as we say, they say, but they are not all the time. Exactly what it is talk about, what Shankaracharya talks about in his Bhaja Govindam, no, prayer. He talks about the interpretation. They can do it because the way they do it, they interpret Bhagavad Gita. So one time I remember Ishopnish, I was trying to get the colleges in India to accept Srila Prabhupada's Ishopnishad. So I was going with the Ishopnishad of Srila Prabhupada to the college. They were saying, no, we already have a course book of Ishopnishad. So I said, okay, give me your Ishopnishad, I want to see. So they gave me the Ishopnishad in the library, it was available, course book in the college. So I took it back and I started reading. And I saw the interpretation they were doing, the Mayavadi interpretation. The problem was that they were taking Sat. Ishopnishad talks about Sat, T-A-T, Tat. That Tat is he or that, the complete whole. And then Ishopnishad follows through each verse by verse by verse, indicating that Tat. And then it comes to the, what 15th or 16th was talking about, you have a faith. Yeah. That same, right, same Tat, same person, same Tat indication is that Tat. Srila Prabhupada does a direct interpretation of it. No, parampara interpretation, direct presentation that hence he is a person. But in that Ishopnishad, to get around this personal issue, the way they were doing is Tat is being interpreted in one shloka as one way, another shloka in another manner, in another shloka another manner. There is no comprehensive, straight, synergetic interpretation. So Sanskrit is being interpreted from different angles in different verses, not cohesively. So that is not direct. So that's why our Shankaracharya, he talks about interpretation.
And when there is no direct, there is no direct evidence. What was that? So when there is a need of interpretation. So in that way, two persons are saying two different things. So then how to we see that he is wrong, right? Like everybody is interpreting.
So that is where in the taking shelter verse, exactly in the shelter verse, this Srila Prabhupada talks about Yasya Deve parabhaktir yatha deve tatha guru. That is the most important word Srila Prabhupada says for a disciple. This one. The attitude of the disciple should always be to satisfy the bona fide spiritual master. Then it will be very easy for him to understand spiritual knowledge. This is confirmed in the Vedas, and it will be further explained by Rupa Goswami that for a person who has unflinching faith in God and spiritual master, everything becomes revealed very easily. The direct meaning is there, otherwise it is not written. If we can't understand it, that means the revelation is not coming. It doesn't mean that there is no direct interpretation, direct meaning of it. It's there. We're not able to understand it because of this issue, unflinching faith. God and spiritual master. So that because of these interpretations, which are, if this was just a question of interpretations, in ISKCON, that is okay in a sense, because that can be by arguments, by discussion among devotees, those all are relieved. That is why we are doing the Ishtagoshti, we are doing discussion, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class, because of these clearing of these kind of misconceptions and helping each other remove the faith. The problem as an institution ISKCON is doing is removing, by their policies and by their actions, they are removing this unflinching faith in the spiritual master. It is all over, because of which this revelation stops or it gets misdirected. I mean, there is no possibility then to do it. And that is spreading, like they spread this. Enviously, demoniacally, they spread this. They know without, like demons know that without this, one cannot progress, become pure devotee, go on the pure devotional platform if this unflinching faith is disturbed. That is the beginning. That's why it is so horrible what people do, is removing this unflinching faith.
So, bro, they are distorting this unflinching faith because they are not acting on that standard. No? So, to cover that, they have to make down Srila Prabhupada's position like this.
That also, but just as there is an envy, why he is glorifying? Why not us too? Just the same envy which we came to the material world. Why Kṛṣṇa only? Why not us too? It's not just a question of bringing themselves up alone. It's very, very destructive and very disgusting. So, we are already past time. So this we went through these authorized predictions. So one is Srila Prabhupada's incarnation because of the prediction which Srila Prabhupada fulfilled. Then the task which was given by Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, and that's why he's coming. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda's prediction is separate. We can do that next week. Not only do those predictions, horoscope and everything, but also go through which we wanted to, but couldn't, because so many different predictions are there in ISKCON floating around. Some may be correct, but they are not on the same point of not having the direct, this Bhakti personified tells Narad Muni, this verse, which I couldn't even find in Padma Puran. I don't know from where it is coming. And many other interpretations, many things. We can go through them. Okay, Prabhus. Next week we can go through. Anything else, Prabhus? Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Vanchakalpatrubhyascha
Chakaltarasya
Kripasindhu
Kripasindhu
Vaivacha
Pattanam
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.